Euthymia, lightheartedness. That is what Democritus, the old Greek philosopher, demanded from us. Stay tuned. When people ask me what I read as body language literature, a lot of people would be astonished how little body language books I have read in my life. I have read a lot, but not that many as you might think. Because to be honest, the vast majority of the body language books I read are only literature of second or third level. What do I mean by that? Most of the people who write about body language are interested in body language. They buy a lot of body language books, they read them, and what they do is they write a summary of what they have read without thinking whether this is true or not. And that is one of the reasons why so many myths in body language are so popular. That is why I don't read literature that is only a summary of someone else. So what I said to people, body language needs a lot of knowledge that is beyond the given purpose of body language, beyond the given field of it. And one of the fields I read and I read, and that helped me a lot, for instance, to read body language properly, is philosophers. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not clever enough to understand most of the philosophers, but I understand when experts comment the books, and I read mostly the commented editions. One of them is Sir Karl Popper. And in another video I will talk about what I learned from him. Very important. But today I want to talk about Democritus. Democritus is pre-Socratic, and he talked about what is it that makes us special as human beings. And he talked about this lightheartedness, this a little bit of carefreeness, a little bit of saying yes to life. And he was a little bit of an opponent of this hedonistic lifestyle, you know, getting a kick and after that kick, just waiting for the next kick in life. When he is painted in paintings, artists mostly paint him with a smiling face. He smiles from ear to ear. He seems to be somewhat like the smiling, the most positive philosopher in history. But I think that is one of the misconceptions when connecting what you read of a person and how you think he has to be. Because maybe Democritus, 500 years before Christ, 400 years before Christ, yeah, maybe he was a person with a body language like that, and he said, we have to be a little bit more lighthearted, we have to be a little bit more positive. Maybe he had a body language like that. Maybe he also didn't reach that goal. But he gave us the hint that we should. Maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe he was that lighthearted person, but what I want to say is only because someone thinks like that doesn't mean that he also is like that in his body language. And what he said is, it is very dangerous if we think our life is just from one party to the next party, which is actually a thing that we only can do in the last couple of decades, because up till now only a very small portion of our society was able to do one party after the next party. All of us had to work hard to survive. And imagine in the Neanderthal how hard it was to strive for safety and security, to to get enough to eat and to have a housing and keep warm during winter. That was really hard. And what we always did is we celebrated several times a year. After very hard times, we always had a party, like harvest in autumn or like carnival after winter. Every couple of weeks we have a big party, a big fest. But what nowadays is we are so well developed as human beings in the Western world that people can work 2 weeks and then they can take a flight to Mallorca or Ibiza and have a party Saturday and Sunday. And then they fly back and work another 2 days and then they drive to the mountains to do après-skiing. From one kick to the next kick. Or other people get the kick out of seminars. They go into a seminar and they have high life in that seminar and really like that. And this adrenaline keeps the level high for a couple of weeks, and after that they already start looking for the next kick. And Democritus was really standoffish to that lifestyle, to that hedonistic lifestyle, because he said life is not one kick after the other kick, and the only purpose is to get the next kick. Life is something like having a positive approach to our life, to our achievements. And what that means for you is when you have a challenge in your life. For instance, when you have a big exam, a job interview, or a performance on a stage, or don't know what, yeah. And you think that is the kick in life, and you get it done in a decent way, and you really performed. And then you think, wow, I'm the best person in the world. I'm really a little bit better. Then what the drawback of that hedonistic looking for a kick is, if you wouldn't have performed well, that would mean that you are not a special person. That you don't belong to the better part of society, but you are a little bit worse. And that is the drawback. And maybe Democritus talked about that, about this high volatility, if you achieve something, you think you are a little bit special. And if you don't achieve it, you think, oh my God, I'm just horrible. But that doesn't give any stability to the people around you. You are a blast when you are up there, but you are a horrible person when you are down there. And that makes it very difficult for the people around you, for your environment to accept you. So when you have achieved something with your body language, be happy. Congratulate yourself. Drink a good glass of champagne if it is a big achievement. And then it's enough. And then don't change your body language to draw a picture with your chin up. Because if you don't perform, I also say, okay, say that was not optimal, my preparation was not good enough, and I made this and that mistake. And then it is enough, okay? Don't get a whip and hurt yourself with that whip too much, because that would make your body language way too small and way too submissive. And what helps is that smile that I repeatedly emphasize, and that is when the corners of your mouth are a little bit more towards a smiling face than to a serious face. If you keep that smile in any given situation, whether you are successful or you are not successful, whether you are stressed or whether you are absolutely relaxed, if you have that smile in your face, you show a lot of sovereignty and you show a lot of stability to the people around you. Plus, it is combined with a lot of lightheartedness. Maybe that brings us a little bit closer to Democritus. And Now tell me, how do you cope with situations when you're really successful or when you fail completely? How do you cope with that? And maybe share it with people who are too easy to celebrate themselves too much and drown them in tears too quickly when they are not successful. Maybe it helps them to keep the volatility not too high. I'm curious what you think about my thoughts.